a seat, welcome yourself here. And make any adjustment you need to make in this first pose, Sukhasana. I always like to draw the flesh of the buttocks out and sometimes adjust the feet so that the knees are supported and the hips are supported also. So let Shelly in there. So then, so once you draw the flesh of the buttocks out, reset your feet however you'd like, and maybe even draw the buttock flesh out again. Take your fingers back slightly behind the hips and off to the sides, and turn the thumbs forward. There's just that rotation of the thumb of the hands is an important adjustment for the upper body because it affords more openness, more of a spreading of the upper chest. And then it also is inclined to bring the shoulder blades into an optimal position. It's hard to maintain it, but see what you can do there as you lift the arms up and bring the palms together. Bend your elbows. Close your eyes. Come back to your seat, the foundation of this pose. You may, at this point, feel like you've lost something. If you need to make an adjustment, go ahead and do that now. And then let go of that. Let go of any instruction here. And allow yourself to take note of the breath. Just closing the eyes for a few moments and tracing the journey of the breath in and out of the body as the effect of calming the nervous system, quieting the mind. It also has more physical benefits as well. Maximizing the lung capacity, those deliberate inhalations, slow, deliberate exhalations, slightly slowing the heart rate. From the outer hip, lift up to the back of the armpit. Draw the back of the armpit forward to the front of the armpit. And then from the front of the armpit, lift directly up to the top of the shoulders. Take an inhale. As you exhale, draw from the top of the shoulders over and down the back into the shoulder blades, guiding the shoulder blades down into your back pockets. And also another little adjustment to think about is taking the right shoulder blade across to your left back pocket and the left shoulder blade down across to your right back pocket. There's a crossover. Remember the pose that we do with the strap over the shoulders. Well, it's very similar. Think about that, how it crosses over in the back. Set your head right on top of the spine and take a moment and turn your head slightly side to side. And notice any tightness as you turn around and try to look to one side and then the other. Does one side feel a little bit tighter, less of a range of motion perhaps? Then bring your head back to center. We'll chant 3 ohms. Om. 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 Yogena chitasya padena vacham malam sharigasya chavai yogena yopa karitam pravaramaninam patanjalim pranjaliranatosmi abahu parushakaram shankachakrasi darinam Sahasra Shirsam Shwetam Prananami Patanjalim Hari Om. Back head. Release your hands. Lift your head. And rise. Start today with the left leg extended out. You may keep your right heel in. You're going to take a side stretch here. So from here, just take your right hand off to the side and slightly back. Lift your left arm. And you may want your strap nearby. You're going to reach for that left foot. And just if you can, bring the hand over the top of the foot. Touch the ball of the foot with your fingers. So access the entire ball of the foot here. And then let your gaze start to turn to your right and take your right hand now and reach it around and take the left rib and turn it. And then continue that action as you bring the right arm up. You want to bend the left elbow. And this is that big side stretch. Don't have to bring the hand all the way down. You can, but I want to keep the chest and the front body open. So if I'm reaching for the foot with the right hand, I have a tendency to close off the body. Don't want that. Now keep your left heel extended out and take your left hand onto the right thigh and just gently support that thigh, keeping the thigh descending, and take the right arm a little further. And then come all the way up and release. All right. So we'll take that right leg now and bring it out. We'll take the left heel and bring it in. Always a good idea to draw the flesh of the buttocks out, because this is the foundation right here. You want to feel the 2 sit bones. Take your left hand off to the side, lift your right arm up, and then a big gesture. You're going to bring that right hand over. You know, I'm manipulating the area of the ball of the foot. I can feel the big toe mound and the other mounds of the toes down there. So I'm just using my fingers there to apply a little bit of manipulation there along that ridge. Then from here, take your left arm and reach it across and turn the body, turn the chest, and then guide that left arm up and over. You want to go to about a 45-degree angle or thereabouts, maybe a little less, maybe a little more, but main thing is to notice when you start to close the chest down toward that right leg, that's where you want to stop and stay right there. You can start to bend that elbow, that right elbow a little bit if you like. You're going to get, when you bend the elbow, you're going to get the body to lean in a little bit more, which has the effect of this left waist stretching, particularly the back of the waist. Then take your right hand and reach it over toward your left thigh and apply a little bit of pressure there, not too much, but I'm just trying to keep it somewhat stable. And then I can reach maybe a little bit more. Turn a little bit more. And then come all the way up. And then go ahead and take that left leg out to the side and we'll sit in Upavista Konasana. Now, what is this pose all about? So, about a lot of things, really. So with the heels wide, just look at your heels, turn the toes up and spread your toes. Spread the ball of each foot. Where you had your fingers right now, you want to feel each of those mounts move apart. Yeah. And still pushing through the heel, the back of the heel. Flexing the foot over and over. And then noticing the stretch that's coming from the inner thigh all the way down and into the inner heel. Now think about drawing from the outer heel back up. So it's almost like a two-way street. And feeling a connection up into the outer buttock. The back of the leg descends. There's quite a lot of leg work in this pose. And then the two arms can come up, turn toward your right and take both hands and reach both hands toward your foot. And again, don't come too deep into this forward fold just yet. We want to ease into a deeper forward bend, not drop ourselves into it immediately. And then take your right hand and reach it across to your left thigh, but put your elbow right in against, if you can, in against that right thigh. And then lift your left arm and peep through. Now you're a little bit deeper. Take your left hand and walk it to the baby toe side of the foot. Look at your left foot. Make sure that you don't let the toes collapse in. Then you're losing ground on the sit bone. Press your right tricep into the thigh and turn yourself a little more. And then lift the left arm to come up. Reestablish Upavista Konasana. Seated wide angle. Inhale the two arms up and turn to the left leg and bring both hands to the foot. And again, use your strap if necessary. One side might be more accessible. The gaze here is pretty much right down at the knee, and that puts the cervical spine, the neck, in a an optimal position. Look at that right foot. It has a tendency to collapse in, which takes the weight off the sit bone. So you do have to keep an awareness there. This sit bone does need to stay down. All right, so from here, you'll take your left hand and bring your elbow right in against the left thigh and place your hand on the right thigh. And then from here, you can just lift that elbow and peek through. Turn the right toes up. See if you can take the right sit bone down. You can walk your hand to the baby toe side of that left foot. Do that. And then come all the way up. And then take your left knee, bend the knee, and walk the heel in. So I'm going to turn the toes out at an angle, the knee pointing in that direction. I'm going to lift the left arm up and bend the elbow. And now I'll take this Marichyasana 1 variation. So it's quite simple. It's not too challenging of a pose at all. Turning your body as you press into that left leg. And then release it and take that left heel and bring it back out. Bend your right knee, bring that right heel in. Again, it's at an angle, the toes are at an angle. Marichyasana 1, typically you're going to be like this. But this variation asks that you open the 2 legs to some degree. Your left hand will come back, your right arm will lift up. And that's a prop to lift your chest, bend your elbow, and then once you have the elbow there, you can turn the body, pressing into the thigh to get that rotation of the belly to the left. Keep an awareness to that left foot, toes remain pointing up. Collarbones here are spread out. Just feeling slowly that rotation of the torso. Good, and then go ahead and release and extend the heel out into our last Upavista Konasana here. So sit up tall, again, take your hands behind you. Use your thumbs, work the thumbs forward and the fingers back. So just try that and see how it impacts this part of your body in particular. So turning really gives the collarbones that direction, that instruction to move apart and to bow out. Now bring your shoulder blades sort of in toward the spine and then slide the blades down the back. And then take the hands and rest the palms face up. So you're using no support other than the legs here. A lot of leg. Again, that drawing away from the groins and back in from the outer heel. Close your eyes for 2 or 3 more breaths here. See if you can feel those legs engage and re-engage. And then open your eyes and release. You just take your feet and bring them in. We're going to lay down for Supta Padangusthasana, and you'll take your block. If you have a bolster, you can use that, but you'll take your block and bring it over to your right side. Get a little bit of support for your head here. And then take your strap around the right foot. We're going to do start with the just below the ball of the foot here. And then taking the heel up, flexing the heel. So we'll hold this one just to begin to stretch and re-stretch the back of the leg. So the Upavista Konasana and all the associated poses, they've been working to create some flexibility in the back of the leg. So we're going to take that just a step further. So I'm just holding on with both hands here. The focus is pretty simple. It's all about the leg. But it's not just about one part of the leg. Trying to feel the whole leg, the back of the leg, stretch, not just jamming into the back of the knee here, as many of us do. And then I'm just very slowly inching the thigh in and noticing how the knee is responding. So my knee will at some point want to bend if I bring it in too close. So that's where I sort of stop and just step back just a little bit and be right there. You're going to get the most benefit if you don't push your leg into the pose. If you ease it in and you are patient with it, you'll get a way better stretch. Now take the strap around the heel for a moment and then push up through the heel. You get something else here, maybe a little bit, further down in the leg, which is up actually because the leg is inverted. But think about the lower part of the calf into the Achilles tendon now, stretching. And then hold on with one hand, doesn't matter which, and then press into the thigh with the other hand, accessing the femur bone. Good. Now bring the strap back up just below the ball of the foot and take your right hand, wrap the strap around your right hand, and then start to take that leg off to the right. Now I want to go really slowly here, and as I do, I begin to access the abdominals. I'm going to hold it here. It's about a 45, maybe a little more than a 45-degree angle. I want to re-stretch the back of the leg. I want to re-engage the abdomen, and then I'm going to lift the left leg and extend that heel forward. And then I'm going to start to lower the right leg toward the block or bolster if you have your bolster or pillows. Take your left hand onto your left ribs and just entice the ribs over. So you can just draw the whole rib cage actually over to the left. And now press through the heel, the left heel. And take your left arm and extend it over the head. I'm gazing somewhat to the left. So I'm turning my gaze away from that extended right heel. sometimes we get a little bit sort of lazy in this pose and our minds sort of wander. And then we lose a lot of the action in the pose itself. So try to guide yourself back into the body. Try to rework the legs. Bring that effort back in. Couple more breaths here. And then we're going to bring that left arm back. You can rest the left hand right on the hip here. And I want to try to keep that buttock down as I start to re-engage the abdomen and lift the leg slowly back out. And then I'm going to bring my hands onto the strap again and bring the strap to the heel. And I'm going to pull the leg in a little closer. And then I'm just going to cross the leg over the midline, just not very much. And then hold on with your left hand and take your right hand onto the outer part of the femur, upper femur, and press there. Ooh. So you're getting a little bit more into that outer hamstring in this one. Now, this is a great one for your low back. If you've got any kind of low back issue, this whole series, the Hutting Gustafsson series, is one of the best. Good. Come on back and release, and just go ahead and extend that leg out and just feel the difference on the two sides for a moment. You'll feel something in the hip. You'll feel something in the leg itself, the back of the leg. You'll feel something perhaps in the left side and the right side of your low back. One part of your sacrum may feel a little bit lower than the other. And then we're going to move into the second side. So reset your prop off to the side. Bend both knees. And take the strap now around the ball of the left foot, and up you go. Slide the strap down though. Slide it down just below the ball of the foot, so you're not, because the ball of the foot you can push up anyway. You don't really need the strap there. What's harder to access is just below there. So that's why we want that strap there, so we can feel that part of the foot push into the strap. So you're just going to hold it here. Oh. If you let the toes come down a little bit, you see that? You push through the ball of the foot, you're going to get more of a stretch in the shin. But if you let the toes come down, it changes the stretch, brings focus to the back of the leg. And very slowly, just enticing the leg inward, just a tiny bit. And then slide the strap down to the heel, push up into the heel, and bring the leg a little closer in, and just stop before the knee starts to buckle. Push up through that heel. You'll notice there's a connection now into that left part of the sacrum. And then you can take one hand onto the thigh here and just push into the top of the femur bone as you draw the leg in. It's very slow and steady. And it demands a lot of patience. We always want to go further. In this case, we want to just stay right where your body tells you. Good. Now bring the strap back up just below the ball of the foot. Take the strap around your left hand. And then we're going to slowly start to engage the abdomen. You can put your right hand on your abdomen to feel that engaging, and take the leg slowly off about 45 degrees, not a lot more than that. So as I move the foot out, I feel the need to engage the abdomen. I'm going to hold it here for a breath or two. And I'm going to lift the right foot now and just straighten the leg and push through the heel, and now slowly begin to descend the left leg all the way onto your prop. Then you can take the right arm over the head. And just enjoy that stretch that comes from the lower body and the upper body, but it comes right into the waist there. Oh yeah, you'll be an inch taller. The Upavista Konasana instructions apply here. You're again trying to really reach through that inner heel, and at the same time draw back from the outer heel to the leg. I just let my gaze turn to away from that extended left leg to the right. Notice how the leg does want to just ease off and not do very much, but try to invite that effort back in. You should feel a contracting of the gluteus medius here. Take a couple more breaths right into that waist, the right waist. As you exhale, send the breath out through the left heel. Good. All right. So we're going to you can bring that right hand back, slowly start to re-engage the abdomen, lift the leg slowly, come about halfway first, re-engage the abdominals, and then start to ascend the left leg all the way up. Reach up with both hands. Go ahead and bring the strap back down to the heel. And see if you can bring that leg in just a tiny bit closer. And see what it will allow. Does it allow you to go a little bit deeper into the stretch? Then you're going to take the strap back up to just below the ball of the foot. Wrap the strap around your right hand and take the left hand onto the outside of the left thigh and cross the foot over the midline. It's not going too far, just crossing over the body, getting to that IT band a little bit here. Ooh, and into the back, outer part of the hamstring here, this outer hamstring. Beautiful. Come on back. Let's see if we can just hold on for 1 or 2 more breaths. Bringing that leg in.
And I release. And just go ahead and extend the leg out. And just feel the two legs. Now feel the hips. Do you feel anything different? Now for me, you know, I mentioned that I felt one hip a little bit higher, one part of the sacrum seemed a little bit higher. Now they seem to be balanced. Pay attention to that. That series has the potential to reset the hips, to reset the low back. I'm going to bend the two knees now. You won't need your strap and you won't need your blanket. So you can take the blanket away from your head. I'm going to lift the left foot and bring the foot onto the thigh, close to the knee. And then I'm going to lift up into a bridge and lower down. And I'm going to do it again. Up, go a little higher and lower it down. And one more here. Up and lower. Now I'm going to take the right foot and bring it in closer to the buttock. Left foot in close to the buttock. Lift both legs up, or both hips up, and lift the left leg and bring the foot onto the thigh again, close to the knee, and lift. Interlock your fingers beneath you. Now you do want to press down to apply the pressure onto the thigh a little bit. And you do want to lift your hip. And then you're going to release the foot and come all the way down. Yeah. And then you're going to take your right foot. The other foot is going to come onto the same spot. Just do 3 of these, slowly lifting. And as I lift, I press down into the thigh, close to the knee, and then back down. And then again, lift. Try to get a little higher each time. You want to think about those hips lifting. And then lowering. And then one more. Up you go. And then lower and release that foot. Now you're going to bring both heels in quite close to the buttocks. So you're going to get a more compact bridge pose. You're going to lift the hips up off the floor. Yes, yes, yes. Up you go. And then you can lift the foot, bring it to the thigh. Up you go. Ooh. Interlock your fingers. Press those triceps down. Press the foot down. Lift the hips. And then release. Come all the way down. And now you're going to bring the 2 legs in toward your chest. Bring them wide. And then walk your hands just on the outsides of the legs to the outer edges of the feet. And then lift the heels up. And bring the knees pretty wide apart. Take the tailbone down toward the floor. And then bring the feet in together and bend your knees and come down. Roll to your side and turn around. We're going to take our first downward facing dog here. So I'm going to come onto the knees to begin. And lift your fingers, spread the fingers and the palms, and then set the hands down very intentionally with the palms coming down first, and then the root of the fingers, and then the mounds of the fingers, the thumbs. Curl your toes under, lift your hips, and straighten your legs into the finished pose. It's very easy to go lazy in downward dog. It's such a familiar pose. Our bodies just oftentimes want to just take a break. See if you can continue to invite the effort into the legs and into the arms. They are the main parts of the pose here. And then think about that pyramid peak coming up through the hips. Then take your right foot and lift it, look forward, and step your right forward, or your right foot forward. Come to a lunge. And then from here, if you can, with one step, just step off the back foot and lift the back leg up. So the leg is about hip height. And then from here, you're going to step back into the lunge, bring the knee down, the left knee, and straighten the right leg and walk your hands into this runner's lunge. So again, we're getting back into the stretching of the leg here. And then bring the right foot down, bending the knee, curl your back toes under, lift your chest, and reach back for your heel with your left hand. Now, you may have trouble finding it. Do your best and lift the right arm up. And looking toward that back heel. Keep reaching that right arm back. And then come back up and forward with the hands. Lift the back knee and push yourself back to downward facing dog. Again, using the four limbs very actively and creating that pyramid point through the two sit bones. You think about it as one point. Lifting them up, bringing your shoulder blades into the body. Now lift your left foot up and look forward and take as many steps as you need and come to that high lunge. You should feel in this lunge the tension between the front shin and the back leg. So the shin is moving forward and the back heel is moving back. So it's creating a stretch right through the center of the hip. And then from here, if you can do it in one step, you'll step off the back foot and lift it up. Again, you don't have to come much higher than hip height. Relax your left toes. Don't grab the mat there. Good. And then come back, step the foot back, and bring the knee down. And then lift your chest. And I'm going to take my right hand back and see if I can find that heel. Once I find it, it creates a little bit more stability. And then I can lift the left arm up. And I keep extending that left arm into that arc and letting the head sort of fall in line with the arc. So it's a part of it. And looking toward the back heel. And then come up. So from here, we'll point the toes back and just go ahead and straighten that left leg. Heel to sit bone. I know I did these out of order, but that's okay. It doesn't really matter. And I'm coming into the back of that leg again. Chest is forward. Shoulders are relaxed. And that runner's lunge. Just a few more breaths here. And then step your foot back down, bend the knee. Lift your back knee. And step back, down dog. You want to get the points of the sit bones really lifted. And you have to do that from the forelimbs. Working the forelimbs up to those points. And then go ahead and bend your knees. And you can take child's pose. Lift your head and come on up. I'm going to use my blanket, but if you have a bolster, I do have a bolster, but I don't have it right next to me. So I'm just going to use the blanket and I'm going to use a block as well. So I want to build up a little bit of a platform here. So I'm going to take my block and just roll the blanket around the block. So I create something that looks sort of like a bolster. Yeah. Close. Yeah. Works very well as a bolster. If you have two blocks, you can use both. So what I'll do is I'll step the right knee forward and lean the left thigh into the prop here. And if you need more height, just put another block there. That's fine. So again, I'm back into that lunge, but there's a little bit of an extra component here to it, and that's that feedback that I'm getting from the prop here. I'm going to start to walk the right foot forward and then wiggle the heel until the leg is straight. The two hands are on either side of the leg, and I'm drawing the kneecap up as I reach the chest forward. It's about enough. And then I'm just going to slide the foot in. And I'm going to lift the back knee off the prop. Bring my two hands inside and step back. Take downward dog with it 2 feet wide on your mat. And lower the head toward your prop. Good. And then take your left foot now and step it forward to that lunge. Bring your right knee down in front of the prop and lean into the block, the blanket, with your right thigh. And so here we are back into this low lunge. And we're going to go step by step and, begin to bring the heel forward, but not just yet. So I'm feeling a good stretch now from the glute, and I want that all the way down into the outer part of the leg and the back of the leg. Also getting a really good stretch in the groins here. And then I'm going to start to walk the foot forward, negotiating this straight leg. So right now it's pretty bent, and I want to just wiggle it forward so that I'm not putting too much pressure on myself to get the leg straight right away. Get as close as you can and just be tolerant, be patient. Takes a good 20 years to get the hamstrings close to where you want them. So start counting the years. How many years have you been doing these poses? Some of you are relatively new, and some of you were ancient yogis at this point, like myself. I want the focus to be pretty much entirely in that left leg. I think I can go a little further here. Careful you don't let your shoulders lift up towards your ears. Keep your shoulders back. You want to feel like you're moving the chest forward and not the back body up. That's great. And then I'm going to bring both hands to the inside. I'm going to step my left foot back and lift back into down dog. Take your feet wide. And bring your head down towards your block, your prop. Good. Now we're going to walk the 2 feet forward and walk the hands in. And come into Uttanasana from this downward dog straight into Uttanasana. Another hamstring, back of the leg stretch pose. So we're just going to stay in Uttanasana for about a minute. And as you stay, just close your eyes and notice how your legs want to relax, and try to keep them, at least most of the time, try to keep them engaged. So lifting the front of the leg, the quadricep lifting up, and then feeling the back of the leg from the sit bones to the back of the knee, and then down through the calf. You take your hands on there to the calf, just press the heels of the palms in there, and just invite the calves to move downward toward the heel. hinging right at the top of the quads. You're going to be able to go deeper now into your stretch. And go pretty deep down now. Those legs are ready for it. Should be ready for that deep forward bend. And then lift your chest. And then you're going to come back into downward facing dog, stepping your hands forward, your feet back. And then bend your knees. And we're going to take child's pose with the feet apart. So this is a harder version of child's pose. And then you can just bring your head down on the prop or on the floor. I'm just wanting to get the stretch in the front of the ankle. And I want to get the hips back and down. Good. I'm going to lift back up. You can just move your props out of the way. You can have your blanket. I'm going to lie down on my belly. Take your left arm out to the side and roll onto that left side and lift your right leg and bring it across. Just want to get the chest now, the upper chest, the pectoral, the front of the deltoid muscle to stretch a little bit here. Then lift your right arm. And let's see if we could bring that right hand towards your left. Where is it? It's always a tricky one to find. There it is. If you can touch hand to hand and clasp fingers, go ahead and do that. Keep that right knee pointing straight up. And draw the right arm down to open the chest even more. And then release. And very slowly roll back onto your belly. Come on to all fours. Neutral spine, and then we're going to come back down onto the belly. This time, taking your right arm out to the side. And lifting the left foot and crossing it over. Just going to keep the left hand on the floor to keep the chest from collapsing. I want to just get a nice, good stretch in that outer pectoral area before I lift that left arm and bring it back. and around and maybe clasp. Try to keep that left knee pointing up. The chin is elevated slightly. Oh. Good, go ahead and release it and roll back. You're gonna roll onto your back. Lift your right leg. Extend your left leg. And cross the right leg over. Now, if you want a prop, you can put your leg, any part of your leg on a block. You'll take your left hand onto your calf. And just open the chest, take your right hand onto your hip. And move the hip away from the back, away from the torso. So this is the third part of Padangusthasana, but the crossover. Good. Lift the leg back up, bend the knee, readjust your hips. I'm just going to turn around for the second side. You'll lay down. A blanket is nice. Lift your left leg up. Extend your right leg out. And cross that leg over, hand to calf. Left hand comes to the thigh, upper thigh and hip. Trying to get a good amount of that to move away from your torso. Another great adjustment for your low back. You gotta keep your low back healthy. And oftentimes, when we have emotions, feelings that some of which go unacknowledged, well, guess where they go instead? They go into your back, they go into your spine, they go into your low back in particular. And it creates a sense of unevenness, sometimes pain. Just turning the body away from that extended leg and breathing into my low back and into my waist. And then lift the leg back up and bend the knees. Readjust your hips to center and just let your arms rest on the ground along with the sacrum. Breathe. Cross your right leg over your left. Tuck your toes if you can. Lift the feet and try to extend the feet and knees in. And you'll do about 5 of those nice and slowly. 2, 3. Keep the abdominals engaged. 4, 5. Now take the arms over the head. Extend the feet forward, and now lift your chest and bring your hands towards your feet and hold it. You want, you can bring the thighs in a little closer. Lift your chest, look straight out. Now take your two arms off to the right. Bring those knees in. And then arms over the head. Extend the feet. And release. Uncross. That's a very good way of accessing those deeper abdominal muscles in a very short amount of time. Lift your left leg and cross it over. Tuck your toes. Lift the feet. And then extend the heels. And then bring the knees in. We'll do 5 of these. Abdomen engaged the whole time. There's 2. And 3. And 4. These are better than sit-ups, by the way. 5. Extend your legs, bring your arms over your head. And then bring the arms forward, lift your chest, lift your head, keep your shoulders down and back. Squeeze the abdomen, bring the thighs in. Go ahead and take hold of the legs and bring them in even more. Good, then bring the arms over the head. Inhale, and on the exhale, bring your arms to the left. Bring those thighs in, go ahead. 5 breaths. And then release. Uncross. Extend your heels out in front. Open your palms. Releasing the muscles, releasing tension out of the muscles, also addresses the emotional body. Because we hold emotions in our muscles. Our emotions find their way into all of the tissue of the body. As you exhale, think about letting go of those emotions. You may not be in touch with the specifics of the emotions. You may feel fear. You may feel anger. You may feel joy. You might feel shame. But as you exhale, just invite all of those emotions to dissolve through the muscle, through the layers of tissue, through connective tissue, through cartilage and bone. That exhale just releases. It has the power to help you let go. You get into the smaller tendons, the ligaments, the fascia. The skin. Relax the mouth, the teeth, the gums. See if you can feel the whole mouth soften from the inside. Bend your knees. Draw the knees into your chest. And then roll to your side slowly. And help yourself up. And bring your palms together. Close your eyes for a moment, reflect. You were in this position just a little bit over an hour ago. How does it feel now? How does your mind, how are you experiencing what's going on in your mind? How does your body feel? Namaste. Thanks for joining me today. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you soon.